And welcome to a special sports edition of UNM News. I'm Marcus Jaramillo. I'm joined by Daily Lobos sports reporter Kyle Tomasi. He will be discussing the volleyball season, and I'm also joined by Daily Sports editor Thomas Romero-Salas. We will be talking about the football season, past and present. And Kyle, let's start with you. Last year, the volleyball team had a very good season. Can you give us a recap of how things went down last year?
So last year, the team had their best record under Jeff Nelson. He's been here 7 seasons now. They went 24-7. They are losing 3 seniors: Lexi Ross, Lena Skipper, and Michaela Lovato. This coming year, we only have 1 senior going. It's Chantel Riddle. She's from Roswell. So, I mean, overall, it was a great season.
On the other hand, Thomas, the football team had a little bit more of a disappointing season. Can you talk about how things went for them last year?
Yeah, it was another down season for the Lobo football team. They went 3-9. The real problem there is just their defense. I mean, they fired the defensive coordinator, Jeff Mills, over the offseason, and they hired Cosgrove to replace him. And, they just have struggled stopping teams. I mean, they had one of the worst defenses in the country last year.
Now, with the struggling defense, it seems like an emphasis this spring and in the scrimmages that they've had have been on defense. Can you talk about maybe how things are going here in the spring ball with the new coordinator?
Oh, definitely. They are playing a lot more physical than they have been in the past. Just this last Saturday actually, they held another scrimmage. It went for like an hour, 70 plays. And the defense really did hold the offense. The offense only had a couple big plays, like a 50-yard touchdown, and just that was really it. That's all they could do. I mean, their option game is not working. Runs up the middle just got like 1 or 2 yards. There were several big hits by the defense. So, I mean, just by the scrimmages, they've been playing better than they have been.
And Kyle, with such a great season last year that the volleyball team had, comes recognition and comes big-time players. Can you speak about some of the UNM players that are traveling this summer with, whether it be Team USA or different organizations that go on during summer ball?
Yeah, there's actually Cassie House has a really busy summer this year. She's going to Europe for the All Mountain West team. There's 12 players selected, and she was one of the 12. Also going with her is Julia Warren, and then one of the assistant coaches, JJ Glavin. So they're all going out there in June for a Mountain West Conference All-Star team, and then also Chantel Riddle and Cassie House are going to the second round of the tryouts for the USA national team. What they're going to do is they're going to break off into 3 teams. There's 36 athletes. They're going to break off into 3 teams and kind of do a round robin tournament, and then kind of from there they'll do they'll make their final picks.
Now, looking forward to next year, you talk about they don't lose much. They return the star players, especially the underclassmen, Julia Warren as well as Cassie House. What's the outlook for next year, and are they excited, or are they just kind of looking to get the season started?
Next year they have high expectations. They obviously want to win a conference title. They want to make it to the Sweet 16. If they can go farther than that, obviously it's always better. It is Chantel Riddle's senior year, and she has a chance to become a 3-time All-American. And so that's kind of the high expectations. They have big rivalries with Colorado State. That's always a big win for them if they can pull that one off.
Now, Thomas, losing a lot of key seniors last year for the Lobos, Casey Carrier, Dallas Balema, namely, offense and defense. Who are some newcomers coming in for the Lobos that can really help the team, and especially that defense?
Really, they're just getting bigger on defense. That was really one of Davies' focus on recruiting this past year. They got 11 junior college players to help. With the maturity level of the Lobos. They got a couple, I think 300-pound defensive linemen. They got a lot bigger defensive backs, at least all of them around like 6 feet. And that was another problem. They had Tim Foley there at cornerback sometimes, and some other players who are just, don't have the high advantage there at cornerback facing these tall receivers in the Mountain West Conference.
And with the quarterback position, Cole Gauchi is somebody who's held down the position for the last couple of years, but often injured. What's the situation like? I know he got injured a couple weeks ago or about a week ago in spring practices. What's the situation looking like behind him? Is there competition, or is there a guy that's really solidified the second spot?
Yeah, he pulled his hamstring last weekend on a long run during another spring scrimmage. But yeah, he has there is some depth back there for the Lobos. They have Clay Mitchum, who actually led the team in starts last year. I think he had 7, and they also have a redshirt freshman in Lamar Jordan. From what I've seen from him in spring practice, he's definitely a playmaker. He's the one who had that 50-yard bomb, and he made a couple big runs. So. But they also lost their 4th-string quarterback, I think, Caleb Kimborough. He hurt his ankle this last Saturday.
Now, Kyle, coming back to you, a little bit of an exciting time for the Lobos. They have, I believe, an alumni exhibition that they have. What's that like for not just the players but the coaches, and to get some friendly competition? What are they looking for in that game?
I think it kind of sets the mood for the season. They're playing their players that are going to be playing in this upcoming season. I think it's fun for them to play against former players. Some of the coaches have come back also, so I think it's just a good time for them to kind of relax. Obviously, get to know what they need to do better for the upcoming season. But overall, it's just kind of a relaxing game. Not too high stress. Nothing really at stake except for bragging rights. So I mean, it's a good time for them, I think.
Now, Thomas, quickly, what's an outlook for next year? Give me like maybe a record, a bowl. What's the outlook for next year?
Coach Davey has said that it's time to see some results this upcoming year on year 3, and it really just depends on their defense. As far as record-wise, I'm going to be surprised if they just won 4 or 5 games again, but it really just comes down to their defense if they can finally stop some people.
Gentlemen, I enjoyed talking with you guys about volleyball and football, and hopefully it's an exciting fall for both of the organizations. And thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you.
That's it for this edition of UNM News. See you next time.